Hi guys, in today's video I am just going to go through some doll projects that I've been collecting and getting pieces for. Now I think I'm finally ready to do it. Now this doll here, she's an 18-inch doll by Heidi Ott, best friend's doll, and her name is Beth. And I'm going to sit her down so you guys can see her face. And I'm sitting her down because of the way her body is made. This is what I'm going to work on today, her body. I love the Heidi Ott dolls. I love the face sculpt and all of that. Good quality hair, but I don't like this body. And unfortunately, I can't use it because when I try to stand her up, she's leaning up against, we're in the workroom, and she's leaning up against the backdrop here. And you guys can see it's very hard for me to get her to stand, which I'm going to do so you guys can see her standing, because I want to bring my American Girl doll Caroline into the mix. Now take a look. This is what she looks like. You guys know Caroline. She's a really popular doll, and I love her parlor, and I figured I can have Caroline and give her a little sister or a friend, a cousin, or whatever. But I would need to change the body. I need to change her body to be the American Girl doll body. Now, whenever I find an American Girl doll, let me put Caroline away, in rough condition, I buy it because I don't want to just let it go. Let me show you what I've collected over the years. Okay, now, this is a Molly doll that I bought at an estate sale. She has a mark on her, under her arm, and this arm is coming apart. And I still bought it because she came with a bunch of nice clothes. And over here, this is a complete wreck. Look at this body. This doll was basically free because of the way the body is. I just couldn't let it go. Now, you guys are going to wonder, what am I going to do with this? I've purchased just the body before on eBay, so I can switch out the limbs. Now, what I'm trying to do today is to find an American Girl doll body and arms and legs that closely resemble this girl and also closely resemble Caroline. I also thought about using an Our Generation doll. I have this one from the thrift. So I bought her because, of course, it was a good deal and maybe she was wearing clothes. And I'm going to try to compare the body. But look, when you look at the skin tone, her skin tone, the Our Generation dolls tend to be more orange. Okay, so these three dolls over here, I'm not going to use. Okay, so now let's keep going. And I found this other Our Generation doll. And she was fairer, more fair than the other one. And she was less orange, but she is still too orange for the Heidi Ott doll. So she goes in the pile of, I won't call them rejects, projects for the future. That's what they are. This pile of projects for the future. So now let's find the doll that I'm going to use. Okay, let me show you guys. I found a Kit doll. Now Kit has the light skin tone, which is what we're looking for because that matches Caroline. And this girl, Beth, will be able to use the light skin tone. And let's take a look at Kit. She is a mess. Got her also secondhand and got her for the accessories she came with, but her body is very loose, but clean and intact. This is what my criteria is. And it says American Girl, but she has a nice clean body. So this is the doll body that I'm going to use. So I'm going to take off Kit's head and switch it out with Beth. And so give Beth American Girl doll Kit's body. Now, as you notice, she is very loose limbs. And I would like her to be able to stand on her own. See, look at her limbs, very, very loose. So what I'm going to do is, after I take off her head, I'm going to tighten her limbs. I'm not going to do that on camera because I have a whole video on how to tighten the limbs of American Girl dolls. And I even show you what I do. I use this, I have more of this wire. I use this heavy gauge plastic coated wire. and I'm using the black wire today. I also have it in blue, but I bought a ton of this wire and it's been working for me. In the video that I did, there's a link to get the wire and everything if you guys need it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten Kit's limbs and take off her head. Then I'll be back to switch out the head for Beth. Dolls made between 2000 and 2009 have an additional internal body tag sewn into the right shoulder, indicating the month and year of manufacture. As you guys can see, I also tightened the arms as well as the legs. And now I'm going to put in more polyfill till the very top is filled with the polyester fiber. So this is how I know that I've put enough polyester fiber and that I've tightened the arms enough. If I raise it or do anything, and if it holds the pose, then it's fine. Now I'm going to clean up the body. See, there's a mark there. There's some marks on the leg, but it holds the pose and it stands on its own. So I'm going to clean up the body, and then I'm going to attach Beth's head to this body. Okay, so now that the body is all set, I'm going to take off her head. Now, I'm not worried that people will think that she's an American Girl doll because she is marked Heidi Ott on the back of her neck. You can see right there. So now what I'm going to do is turn her head all the way around like that, so I can easily try to untie her neck strings with the hair not being in the way. Okay. Looks like this string might have been cut. It is pretty tight. I've already pre-loosened it a little bit. And I really have to pull here to get it undone. Okay, that should do it. Then you just try to see, you can tell that it's going to come apart over here, and you can only do this with dolls with a flange neck. I'm just going to keep gently pulling to try to loosen this string. Okay, it's coming. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Wow, look at that. There's a cardboard here for this to rest on. Okay. It's interesting to see different head construction. I also have an African American Heidi Ott doll that I'm still looking for the correct skin tone, because when I to switch out the body, because I want her to also have a body, an American Girl doll body. I wonder if I should use this. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe not. I'll leave it. I'm going to put it back in here with this body. Keep all this fluff in here. And I'm going to tighten this up a little and just put this on my shelf for another project. So now let's do this. And of course, I always put the head on backwards because you don't want the hair in your way. Just put it over here and just slide it in. And I really filled it to the brim with the polyfill, which is perfect because I had extra polyfill. You guys know I just buy it whenever I see it, and I'm just going to try to put it in and then just swivel it around, trying to get the polyfill in there. And then it looks like she has a thicker neck over here. The height of this neck looks longer on her than an American Girl doll. Maybe. I'll compare it with Caroline when I finish this. I didn't tighten it all the way. I just want to make sure there's like no polyfill showing. Okay, so there isn't. Try to get all this hair out of the way Okay, get it all out of the way. And then there's already a knot there. Then to tighten it, you press down and you tighten. Press down again and then tighten. Okay, then you look over here. See, there's a gap. There's a gap right in the front here. So I'm going to push down again and tighten more. Okay. I am tightening with all my might. Then you hold it, hold a knot, and then you make another knot. All right. All right. Well, that's just one knot. I'm going to see how it goes. Okay. Looks good. And then I'm going to do another knot. This. And maybe another knot just for good measure. Okay. Now, there's some hair that's been in the way, but that's fine. This girl has a lot of hair. Then what you want to do is turn her around. And there we go. So I'm going to step back and stand her up. So there she goes. Let's see what she looks like. Oh my goodness, guys. I love her. Look at the skin tone. It looks great. And I think she does have a taller neck than Caroline. Okay, I'm going to put them both on the same plane. Then we can look at them together. Okay, now they're both on the same plane. What I meant by that is perfectly side by side. Before, one doll was a little further back than the other. So now let's take a look at them. And looking at them side by side, I'm trying to figure out who is going to be the older sister. As you can see here, the skin tone doesn't quite match, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. She's a little more pale than Caroline. But let's take a look. Okay, so it looks like the Heidi Ott doll has a more mature face, and she's slightly taller. So now this tells me she's going to be the older sister to Caroline. And I'm going to dress her now and bring them both to the parlor. So guys, the girls are in the parlor. I'm going to move this table and this basket of little dishes. I found these vintage plastic dishes at an antique store, and I'm trying to see if they're the right scale for American Girl dolls. But anyway, let's take a look at Caroline and Beth. They really do look like sisters. They look great, and I am so glad that the body works for Beth. This American Girl doll body is absolutely a really nice standard for what we do in this doll room, because we have a lot of 18-inch dolls. And whenever I can switch out a doll's head for an American Girl doll body, I tend to do it, because I collect, of course, American Girl, and the body is just much more functional. The Heidi Ott dolls are really great dolls, and I love their sculpt, but the body was just not functional. It was just made for sitting, and for her to stand, you would have to use the doll stand or to prop it up against the wall. But anyway, Beth and Caroline are ready. They're just in the parlor, just hanging out. Now I'm going to go back to the workstation and work on that big reddish rag doll that I found at the antique store. Do you remember this little rag doll that I purchased at the antique store a few weeks ago? Well, today I'm going to clean her up and get her ready to join our collection. We're not going to do anything drastic, just clean out the stuffing and give her a new dress. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with her in the future, but for right now, she needs to get clean so she could join the rest of the dolls in our collection. So here she is, and I will now give her a good cleaning. I'm going to take off the yarn hair and redress her. This hair is sewn on, so it should be easy to take off. So I'll show you what she looks like without the hair and clothes. So this is the way I clean the dolls. I take all the stuffing out. So now this is the last part. I restuffed it, and I'm going to stitch her back up. And then I'm going to show you what she looks like. Nice and clean and totally bald. So here she goes. Completely cleaned, restuffed, and ready to be dressed. She is on a doll stand, of course, as you guys can see. And I wanted to point out that these 3 dots, they don't come off. They are part of the fabric. And this is her original painted face. I don't know why, but this doll is speaking to me. So now I have to decide what to do with her. Okay, I found a couple of dresses to try on her. The first one is this one. This is an Annette Hempstead doll dress. Nice denim material. And then there's another one here. This one is a red, very cute party dress. I'm going to put them both down on the counter over here so you guys can see both of them side to side. This one looks weathered, the denim, but it is really nice quality. And this one is red and white, and she's sort of red. So I don't know, for some reason I'm going to go with the red. And I'm also going to try this wig on her. I found this dark brown wig. My goal is to eventually paint black hair on her to resemble like Betty Boop. Just nice black curls on her head with dimensional black paint, fabric paint. But right now, let me get her dressed and you guys can take a look at her with her new dress and the wig. I'm going to go with the red and white dress. So here she goes, guys, completely dressed with her new red dress and her wig. I really like this doll now. I will definitely add more to her features to make it pop more. This doll is a keeper. We're going to add her to our collection. I think she was used as a child's mannequin in a dress shop because this dress she's wearing is a size 5 and it fits her perfectly. The closure around the neck was dead on perfect. Right now, with her wig and her dress and her painted features, she reminds me of those dolls by Pauline. So I will definitely highlight her features more, give her eyebrows, outline the lips, and maybe shade in her eyes and highlight them. I'll post updates on my Instagram. You know what, guys? With this project, I'm not 100% satisfied. I had to take off the yarn wig, but the dark wig doesn't seem to suit her as much as I would like. I'm going to keep my eye out for a different type of wig. The material will probably not look like real hair because this doll is a rag doll, so she probably should have something more like yarn, but maybe I'll find another yarn wig or something else. But I really had to get rid of the yarn wig because there was just no cleaning it and I really couldn't use it. So anyway, she's good enough for now, but I will consider her a work in progress. Now, let's go on to a couple of other projects, and I hope you guys will stay with me. Okay, guys, I'm back. Now, the next doll I'm going to work on is this one. This is an 18-inch doll made by Playtime by Eimmie. I think that's how you pronounce it. And these dolls, brand new, run about $60. This one, I got it for about $20 on eBay. I noticed these dolls before and I wanted to try it. Now, this one that I got, as you guys can see, I'm trying to keep her head up, but she's very wobbly. Very, very wobbly. And she is held on by a zip tie. Very similar to the Our Generation dolls, but she doesn't have that wire inside her body, and her legs move better. And her legs are similar to American Girl dolls. But let me show you something about this doll. Look at this. Look at the way her head is. I mean, her hair has static cling right now. I combed it out. But her hair is very nice. It has some static. But it's very nice rooted hair, not a wig. But she is incredibly wobbly. Look at this. Very wobbly. So my doll keeping task for today is to take the zip tie off her neck. Look at her head is going back because it cannot stand up straight because she doesn't have enough stuffing. So I'm going to take the zip tie off, take her head off, and restuff her body. This one's a really easy fix. And then we'll have another 18-inch doll for our collection. Okay, I always have the bag of polyfill, so Now to take her head off, I'll do what I usually do so you guys can see. I turn it so the head is not in my way. That means so the hair is not in my way. And then I'm just going to carefully try to cut this zip tie. And this is actually the hardest part, guys, because let me tell you, I don't want to cut this fabric. This fabric is very much like the Our Generation fabric. So I'm just probably just going to keep cutting at the square till it's off. And then look, you have to go down below the fabric here. Let me just show you guys. See that fabric? It is all around that. It is so tight. Okay, so what I'm doing is basically trying to cut, I'm trying to cut this block, this little square of the zip tie, because I don't want to cut the fabric. So by cutting pieces of this, you guys see, I'm just cutting pieces of it, trying to get it up, because I'm trying to get this off, because there's no way I can actually do this without cutting the fabric. Okay, so I did it. So you just grab it and then pull. There you go. Doll's head off. Look at that. It's a very small flange. That's probably why it was on so tight. Okay, so let's, very nice face. But if you, when she closes her eyes, the eyelids are a lot lighter than her face. If you guys can see that. Okay, look at that. So I'm just going to put her down here. There you go. Okay, and now this is the problem. There we go. She needs total stuffing. A lot of stuffing is needed for this doll. Oops, there she is over here. A lot. I'm just going to stuff this down with my hands, and you guys can see what the problem is. Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now is just stuff this doll. Just a lot of stuffing, and then I'll come back and attach the head. Before I start stuffing it, I am going to replace the zip tie, because this is very soft right now, and it will be easier to put the zip tie through here first before stuffing the bodies. Push the zip tie through and just snake it all the way around. And there it goes. It's coming out of this side. This zip tie is just a medium size. It's actually a little thicker than the one that I took off the doll. And it should fit nicely in this flange here. So, I'm not gonna, okay. It should fit nicely. Oh my goodness, I keep knocking her head down. Maybe I should just, okay. Now the key is to, I want it to come out here, and I'm going to actually zip it a little. This way, when I have it all stuffed, I don't have to worry about that. So you want to connect the zip tie just a little bit. So when it's time to put the head back on, you have a starting point, you see? So now I'm just going to stuff this to the very top and come back and attach her head. Okay, check this out, guys. Look at how tight and thick this body is. Now the limbs, everything is nice and tight as well. So this seems to be enough polyfill here. Let's put the head back on. Wow. Okay. This tells me I have to close this a little bit more before I can put the head in. And just, I'm squishing it down. It's going to rise back up, but I really put a lot in there. And then tighten a little bit more. You want to tighten it so that, let's see, you want to put it so that it's nice and tight. But you also want to distribute the polyfill so it looks normal. so it looks like it's going to work out. So I still have the zip tie on here. Let's take a look. Her head is now upright. Look at that. Her head is upright. That's what she should look like. So let me tighten and clip off this zip tie. So now I know that it's good. So here's the needle nose pliers. Just pull. You want to hear those clicks. Okay, well, you don't hear any more clicks. It's tight. You look in the front, very tight. It's tight in the back. Double check. No, one more click. Okay, now I'm going to just cut this off. Okay, flew across the table there. Trim that. Okay, so now this is ready, and let me just take this camera off this tripod so you guys can see her. So I found the dress for her to wear, and there she goes. Look at this doll now. I mean, this is a very cute doll, 18 inches. We're going to add her to our collection because we don't have this doll. And whenever I see an 18-inch doll that I don't have, I always want to try it just to see what it's like. And this one's pretty cute. Nice freckles, sort of copper hair. So let me dress her right now, and then we'll see what she looks like. I think she looks great. And she's standing on her own, which is something I really like. I found this dress for her. It's not an American Girl doll dress, just a regular dress for 18-inch dolls. Okay. This is a very cute outfit. Let's see who makes it. It is, probably just says, let me see, yeah, 100% cotton, made in the Philippines, no maker's tag. And I bought this in a lot with other 18-inch doll clothes. I don't even remember where I got it. But 18-inch doll clothes, 18-inch doll. So hopefully it will fit and she will look cute. So whenever I finish a doll or fix a doll, I like to dress her before I add her to the collection. See, like when the dolls are nude, I know they need work. And there she goes. Let's see. Get the sleeve up there. Oh, she looks great. Yeah, the sleeve was in. Okay. Look at that. So I'm going to see if I can just quickly have some white shoes. Generic white shoes that I found. Let's see how it looks. And I'm going to put some jelly shoes on her. You guys can tell me which you like better, the jelly shoes or white shoes. There she goes, hair combed in her lovely dress. Now look at the shoes. Okay, I hope you guys are with me. The jelly shoes look a lot better. So I'm going to switch out the white shoes. So there she goes. I found the red ribbon for her hair and I switched out the white shoe for the jellies. These are our Generation brand shoes. So now she's ready to join our doll collection. And while I was looking for her dress, I found another Heidi Ott doll. Let me bring her over and show you guys. Here she is. And the reason I bought her a few years ago on eBay, was the two front teeth reminded me of American Girl dolls. And she is an 18-inch doll. And what I'm going to do today, there she goes. She has blue eyes. She is going to be the friend for Caroline and Beth. So I'm working on dolls today, so I'm going to have her as my last project. She looks pretty good. I'm just going to switch out the body like I did before. You guys know how I did that earlier in the video. So I'm going to switch her out and dress her, and then you guys can see what she looks like. So the body I found was an old Pleasant Company body. The head on it was a Samantha doll with a really bad haircut. So now I restuffed the body. It's nice and thick now. So I'm going to switch out the head. Here she is, ready to go. She is completely dressed and wearing American Girl doll shoes. The dress is not AG, but I think it looks great on her. I'm going to bring her over to the parlor because she is of the same era as the other two girls, Beth and Caroline. Here she is in the parlor with Beth and Caroline, another Heidi Ott sculpt that we are adding to our collection. And all we did was switch out her body for an American Girl doll body. I really like doing that. And what I tend to do is if I find an American Girl doll body or American Girl doll that has something wrong with the head, I always buy it because you can always do projects like this. These dolls are just fabulous. This is a different sculpt of the Heidi Ott dolls that we're adding to our collection. So this is something I'm going to keep doing, keep my eyes open. And if I find these dolls, I'm going to switch out their bodies for American Girl doll bodies. The American Girl bodies I tend to find at yard sales and on eBay for fairly reasonable price if there's something wrong with the head. But if you can save the body, always do it because it might come in handy like it did today. We've worked on a few projects today. I think we did a total of 4 projects. And I am pretty satisfied with all of them. Maybe the rag doll needs different hair. Sometimes when I have projects to do, I like to pile them all up and then just wait for a day and just give myself the day to work on these projects. And that's what I did today. And I thank you guys for coming along with me. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.